that's for sure. But I guess, by the weekend there, it's supposed to go back to normal, whatever that is, if there is a normal. But, running the BMW 5100 this morning, listening on the R390A. And, it's interesting, Perry, I drove around the neighborhood the other morning, and, had the AM radio on in the truck. And, I'm listening, of course there's a little bit of, humming and noise, not more or less residual stuff as you're driving by the houses here. And I get down towards the end of the street, and it totally took out the station. It's right at the end of the entrance to this area here. Very, very interesting. I'm looking around, just like what's going on. Maybe there's a transformer hanging off the pole. But anyway, that seems to be ground zero for the noise. But anyway, I'm not going to get too fussy with it. When I'm ready, I'll call National Grid. But right now, I'm just kind of dealing with it. It hasn't taken me off the air. It's not that bad. But beautiful day here yesterday. It's nice being retired, getting up in the morning, cup of coffee, play some radio, and get out in the yard early. Just so many winterizing projects going on. Actually, I did bring the snowblower up front. I got a 28 Ariens Deluxe that I bought a while back there, so I want to go through that, make sure all the oils and everything are done, and make sure that everything's lubed up and ready to go. I usually spray the drum down with a liquid wax that helps with the snow to get out. But anyway, don't even like talking about snow right now. So anyway, let's get it over to Don, and hopefully he's copying me okay. And again, good morning to Charlie, N1XZW. So WC4D to take it. This is N1SNG.
K1SNG, WC4D. Good morning, and good morning, Charlie, if you can hear me. Charlie comes in pretty light here, usually, and I can't always copy him all the time. I hear everybody talking to him, but I don't hear him quite as good here. My name's Don. I'm in Lexington, Kentucky, and I'm talking ICOM 7600 into an AL 1500 into a, what is it called? A double bazooka, about 60 feet up in the air. Nothing special, just plain stuff. Got a ton of AM radios around here that Perry will attest to that I need to get on the air, but my motivation's just not behind me to get. I need to build a system, or not build a system, build a station that's more conducive just to everything right around it. Everything's kind of straight in a row. One's on one wall, one's on the other, facing each other. And I got a BT610 and stuff, and this on the opposite side of the room, which it needs to be on the other side of the room. And I just need to change everything around. But all this stuff is so heavy, and just the thought of moving it around isn't really overly exciting me any. So I keep staring at it, thinking of what I should do, but nothing gets done. Good morning, Perry, and I guess you've been watching the World Series. Atlanta sure blew it the other night, didn't they? They got thumped pretty good at home. It'd been nice for them to close it out. I'd like to see them win it. I really don't have a favorite team. I don't know why. I guess the Braves are the closest to me. Maybe that's what it is. But I really don't pull for anybody. I'm not much of a baseball fanatic. I'll watch it, but at least it had a little action for a change. I mean, 9-7, that's a pretty good score. Most of the time it ends up 1 or 2 or whatever, nothing or 1 or 2 or whatever. And I like a little bit of higher scoring. My Kentucky Wildcat football team went down in flames last Saturday down Mississippi. But the Kentucky Wildcat basketball team played a little team, and they look promising. It's just exhibition games right now, but they look promising. So maybe basketball season will be the thing to work for me. Perry, I don't remember what Charlie's call was. I think so. You'll have to return it over to him because, like I said, I can't hear him anyway. I don't think. Well, I might be able to this morning, but I didn't hear him when he came back to you. So I'll let you. I'll turn it over to you, and you turn it over to Charlie. Let's do it that way. W3MMR WC40.
Good morning. KK4GZQ. Good morning.
W3MNR and N1XW.
Actually, I was hearing Don this morning. 90%. Yeah, I don't have the highest antenna over here, so there are a lot of people that struggle to hear me. Anyway, I don't get into sports. I can't sit in front of the tube and watch a sporting event. I've just never been able to do it. And maybe a little bit of auto racing, that's about it. And, you know, according to sports enthusiasts, auto racing's not a sport. I never figured where they could get that from. It gets pretty intense out there sometimes. Anyway, knowing that Kevin's probably struggling to hear me and Don's probably struggling to hear me, I'll turn it back to you, Perry, and I'll sit here and listen. N1XZW. And good morning, Glenn.
Let's do that. We'll be mid-30s rest of the week here, so at night anyway, not during the day. Mid-50s is a high, low 50s, and mid-30s is a low. Tis the season, guys. I just looked at the winter forecast last night, a couple different ones. I don't pay attention to the National Oceanographic and Atmospheric Administration. I don't really pay attention to their forecast. It's not really that accurate. There's a guy I follow. It's called Weather Trends 360, and he does, year-ahead forecasting, and it's all statistics and climate cycle based. And his year-ahead forecasts are more accurate than NOAA's 2-week forecast. So just put it that way. He's really freaking good, man. And the company does, they do like seasonal sales and stuff like that, and how weather has an effect on it for Fortune 500 companies. So this company, Weather Trends 360, does work for Walmart, Target, Home Depot, Lowe's. That's where they get all their weather information from, is this guy. So the dude's legit. So if you ever want to look at on YouTube, look at Weather Trends 360. And the guy puts out a weekly weather forecast called the Captain's Log, where he goes over, where the temperatures, where the overall temperatures for the week were in the last 35 years. So, you don't sit here and see, it's 80 degrees today in the middle of October. Oh my God, the world's going to end. But he'll show you that overall, it was the 15th hottest October. You know what I mean? Like the 15th hottest in 36 years. So it really wasn't that bad. There was definitely a lot hotter. So he puts a lot of things in perspective. So anyway, his winter forecast is saying us up here in the Northeast down to Kentucky, with the way the jet stream is, with the La Nina and everything, as you guys see the way their storms are moving now already, right up the coast, nor'easter after nor'easter already this fall. So could be an early onset of the cold, which means an early onset of the winter and more winter. So fingers crossed. I just bought this frickin' truck for winter, so I hope it snows. You know, I just got to get it fixed first. Well, watch, we're going to get snow next week, and the damn thing ain't going to be done. Anyway, solar flux is at 98. Looks like we have an R1, a G1 level storm at the moment, so the band's a little bit noisy as far as background noise goes, but besides that, it's no static crashes or nothing like that. Don, I can attest to you and all your gear over there. It would take a long time to rearrange all that, number one, but number two, to get it all hooked up to in a way where, you know, you could just get on it and like everything's in a switching arrangement. You know, they make all the MFJ makes all those different types of radio switches to switch between radios and amplifiers and remote switches, so I'm sure there's something you could get up and do. You just got to do it, Don. You got to do it. Anyway, we'll keep it moving, and Charlie, I agree. I think NASCAR is a sport. If it was up to me, man, NASCAR would be an Olympic sport. That's for sure. So, down to Kevin, KK4GZQ, and send it up to Glenn, N1SNG. Kevin, KK4GZQ in the group, W3MMR.
Okay, Perry, W3MMR with the group. Good morning to all of you. And everybody's coming in great here. KK4GZQ. On the BC610 here at the Mousetrap this morning, 614 speech amp. Listening to you guys on R392. Going over there, Don. And, yeah, Don, I understand what you're talking about looking at the, this tower project I've had back here. It's been a year now. You know, I'm making some progress, but nowhere near where I probably should be. But it seems like any time I have the weather, either A, I'm just too tired, or B, I'm out working. So you got to pay the bills first. So that's my excuse for my problem. Anyway, it'll get up sooner or later. I've got the what I call the pull tower up, and I've got two towers. One of them's going to be about 42 feet tall, and the other one's going to be about 60 feet. And the pull towers, the 42-footer, they're butted up right side by side, and the hinge, the 60-footer's on the hinge. I've got a pulley up in the top of the 42-footer, so got to figure out my winch and put the other tower together and get the antenna over on it and start tuning. So that's the three steps that are left, and to get some guide wires on the pull tower. Anyway, that's about all I know to talk about this morning, guys. Good morning to all of you. I'm sitting here just beat. Jumped out. We just got in from down south on Sunday afternoon late, and jumped up yesterday and went and did a job. And I feel like and it wasn't a big job at all. I just feel like I've worked the heck out of myself yesterday. So looks like I need a rest. Anyway. I'll keep it moving. Glenn, here it comes up to you. Always appreciate you running the net. And Glenn, I heard you down in Florida when I tried to check into the old military radio net. And I think you might have heard me. I don't know if that was any assist from N4DKD or any of the SDRs, but I was hearing you fine down there. So let me keep it moving. N1SNG to take it. KK4GZQ. Good morning from Central Kentucky.
KK4GZQ. N1SNG. In old North Kingstown, Rhode Island. Okay, Kevin, very good. Nice signal this morning. And, yeah, I want to thank you, too, for helping out. You kind of, you wound up the calls there. And try to get the back end in here, and that really, I do really appreciate that. That's what makes everything happen, up at this end too. So I know it's difficult with, sometimes you get a light copy on some of the signals there, and you seem to capture a lot of those from your location. Hey, very good on the 610 year. I know that rig there has been pretty consistent. You've had that on quite often, and I know that was part of Liz's estate there, and
She must have done a really good job with all her equipment there, and to have a piece of the pie there is even better. And good luck with the towers there. Yeah, I have antenna supports here. I don't have any kind of load-bearing type of tower. I just have one big stick out in the back there, about 55 feet up, and all that does is hold the wires in place. It's got one guy wire on the back of it, because everything pulls to the other side. They're all inverted V's sloping inward a bit, but it seems to work quite well. You know, you're a good 10 to 15 over into Rhode Island this morning. Very, very nice signal, Kevin. And yeah, the weather 37 degrees here this morning, 37. So that's I think that's a new low for us. And yeah, Perry, I agree on the weather forecasting. It can, you know, cause a run on the market, but it's true. It really is how things take shape like that, especially, you know, on Wall Street. It's like the crops, too, you know. If there's not enough water in some areas, there's drought. Sure, that really it makes a lot of sense. It's good to hear that. I think some people are aware of that, but they just don't hear it. And in that sense, you know, as far as weather forecasting. Yeah, some of the forecasting around here, I listen to the Marine Band radio in the morning. It gives it's a NOAA weather radio. It gives a general forecast what's going on. We're so close to the coast here. By the time the weather gets here, if it's coming, you know, east-west, whatever, you know, a lot of times before it gets over the, you know, the Blue Ridge Mountains there and the Poconos and Connecticut Valley, it kind of breaks up a little bit or intensifies. Anything coming up the coast is pretty hard to, you know, get a real accurate fix on there. But yeah, I'll have to look that up. That sounds pretty good. And good morning to Don again, down in, I believe you're down in Kentucky. I think you said you're on a 7600 there. That sounds great. And as far as the shack goes, you know, it's ergonomics. If you go online and you look at my shack, you'll see that it's kind of like a horseshoe shape. So I've got to the left, to the right, and then in front. And that seems to work pretty good. I was lucky to build it that way. It's all tabletop equipment to begin with, so it's a whole different scenario there. And Charlie, yeah, N1XCW there. Well, that's how they got the name sports car. Yes, a sports car. So, yeah, I guess it works hand in hand. I don't know. But anyway, over to you, Don. WC4D from N1SNG in North Kingstown, Rhode Island.
K1SNG WC4D. Good, Glenn. 100% copy, and I did copy Charlie last time. So everything's looking up around here. I want to welcome Kevin back to the motherland. He's been down there and just sunning it up too much, fishing. You know, all the pictures you didn't post one picture of you and a fish. Was that because you didn't catch any, or you just didn't take any pictures? You should comment on that, Kevin. Glad you got back. And, yeah, right now, this week is got 45 degrees. I think Perry said he had 44.8. I got 45.0, so 0.2 of a degree difference between me and Perry there. We're going to have some highs, only going to be in the 40s this week, lows in the 30s. Not looking forward to it. Heard Glenn said he was talking about getting the snowblower out and to get it ready. I bought a snowblower a couple of years ago, 2 years ago, matter of fact, I think it was. And I sold it to my brother-in-law that lives up in South Dakota because he needs it a lot more than I did. I bought a beautiful Cub Cadet, brand spanking new, looked like the guy paid a small fortune for it. I don't remember the dollar amount right off the top of my head, but he paid a lot of money for this snowblower, and I bought it for $150 from him. It was basically brand new, electric start, the whole 9 yards. It was really, really nice. And I sold it to my brother-in-law for, I think, twice of what I paid for it, but I had to drag it all the way to South Dakota, so I figured that was a fair amount for him to get it. And he got good use out of it last year, and it was better than letting it sit around here for like it had been for several years before that. I do with the weather forecasting, Perry. I just listened to the local TV station. I think that's it. I'm going to check into the one you were talking about there. I wrote it down over here, but I can't see this morning. I left my glasses upstairs. And I can see fine to a distance, but I can't see my nose under my, right under my eyes there. So, anyway, I'm going to turn it back to you, Perry. And if you can, could you repeat Charlie's call sign? I still haven't got it wrote down right because when I heard Glenn say it and everything else, I messed it up. So, good morning, and over to you, Perry. W3MMR.
KM4XG.
Hey, Jim. Stand by. We'll get you in there. I'll get you in after Kevin here, Jim. And Kevin, when you get it, send it to Jim, KM4XG, okay? And Don, Charlie's call is November 1 X-Ray Zulu Whiskey, N1XZW, in the biggest state in the Union, Rhode Island. Up to you, Charlie.
The weather. Well, you know where I get my weather? I look at the weather rock. It hangs on a string outside. When the rock is wet, it's raining. When the rock has frost on it, it's cold. That's the guaranteed right weather forecast right there. Look out the window. Anyway, I'm going to get out of here and go upstairs. My fish tank lights will be going on in a couple minutes, and they like to get fed when the lights come on, so. Good morning, Jim. I've been in here since 3 o'clock this morning. I was here to listen to Timmy for an hour and say goodnight to him when he went off the air, so I tend to wake up early even when I don't want to. Actually, particularly when I don't want to. Today was the day I wanted to sleep till 5 o'clock, and it just didn't happen. 7-3, everybody. Don, glad you could hear me this morning. I'm hearing you 90%. It's not bad. Sometimes it's good, sometimes it's bad. Today's not too bad. Catch everybody later. N1XZW.
All right, Charlie. Keyed up a little faster. Let me leave some room. N1XZW, W3MMR. We'll catch you later, man. It's always good hearing you, buddy. And good morning to you, Jim. We'll get you in, like I said, after Kevin there. Great to hear you this morning, Jim. Good signal. Good signals at all here this morning. Great band conditions. Everybody's over 20 over. S9. Charlie, you were right at 20 over, 25 over. So, I mean, the band's in really, really good shape, though. So, the big strappers are here. That weather rock. I remember you talking about that weather rock before, Charlie. It's like, if the rocks are moving, the rocks are moving, it's windy outside, and if the rocks are gone, take cover or something. Like if there's no rocks left, you gotta take cover, man. Yeah, it's crazy. Yeah, Don, I sent you a link, and Glenn, I emailed you a link of his latest video, which has his winter forecast in it, and it also explains at the end of the video how the forecasting works, and he compares it to NOAA, the accuracy of it. So you'll see, like, everything's right in this one video, so it's a really good first video to watch. But he comes out with that captain's log forecast once a week. So, and I get this notification every week. So cool stuff there. What else we got here? Nope, not too much, man. We'll keep it moving. We'll get Jim in here. Kevin, I'll send it down to you. Yeah, I wonder if you did any fishing down there, Kev. Heard Don talking about that there. I saw your fishing pole, but I think that was for putting rope over the tree, putting the string up over the tree, getting the antenna up. So I wondered if you did do any fishing and was able to catch anything. Actually, my mother was supposed to go to Florida today, but their flight got canceled because of the American Airlines crap, the staffing issues or whatever they're having. And the friend she's going with has been working for American Airlines for 30 years, just retired, and she get buddy passes and stuff. And he can't even fly, so it's whatever's going on is pretty bad, man. So hopefully people get back to work and get off their behinds. Keep it moving. Down to you, Kevin. We'll get Jim in here. KM4XG, KK4GZQ in the fine group W3MMR.
Okay, Perry, W3MMR in the group, KK4GZQ. I'm sitting here online looking for some wheels for a water cannon pressure washer that I'm having some problems locating here. I finally found another company here. I'm sending them an email. Damn tires, it's not the tire itself, it's the wheel. And man, I can't find anything around here locally. I've been everywhere you could look. And they just don't have the right size wheel for some reason with the right setup. So contacting a company that actually supplies the pressure washer maker. Anyway, enough of that, but Perry, I got your message about your comments about Weather Trends 360. I'll check that one out here a little later. I'm still using Weather Underground, but it doesn't let me down. I can plan my entire 7 to 10 days through it. But anything that has it sounds like that guy really does his homework on weather, providing all your yearly and going back way back in the log, if you will. And you mentioned your truck. I remembered something about it in the snowplow. I can't remember what it was. Was it a Dodge? Anyway, looked like a big boss of a machine, something you could get out and really rock and roll in and put a snowplow on it and not worry about it. No fish, guys. My brother caught a couple. I did not. I never caught the first thing. We tried several times. We got a little bit dismayed there at the end, but I think my brother was more disappointed than I was. You got to hit the tides. But I told him before we went down there, just because of the red tide being there and then being, its presence was strong even in toward shore. Normally red tide stays out away from shore, but it moved in close to the island and in the bay. And I looked at a few things online about fishing, how it was going to be and whatnot, and you got to imagine after the fish kill and whatnot that they tend to move away and then maybe come back when it's safe. So I still saw a lot of guys out there trying it, but I didn't really see anybody having any luck. That red tide is serious. I've done some more reading on it and what they think the causes are. Water runoff, fertilizer, etc., etc., etc. And the season was exceptionally long this year as compared to previous years. And they're still dealing with it down around Tampa, St. Pete, all the way up Tarpon Springs, that area. So, no, didn't, but yeah, still had an awesome time. And Don went over to near Carabel, right off of the coast, right around the corner from Carabel. You've got a point out there called Alligator Point. We went to Bald Point State Park. And man, what a couple of great views and oyster beds out there. They've got some docks, walking ramps, and fishing docks built out there, close to the oyster beds where you can get in there and maybe try to catch some of those redfish and whatnot. But wasn't nothing happening. And Perry, you mentioned yesterday, the watercolor. I mean, it's a dead giveaway. It kills plant life and whatnot. It just colors the water for a little while, and then it comes back. There's some different. Some people think you can go ahead and fish it and whatnot, but I from what I saw and whatnot, I'd have to say red tide, even if it's there, if it's been there in any strong presence, you're not going to catch fish for a while. So, anyway, and yeah, Perry, I did. I used that pole with a 2.5 ounce lead weight, and by golly, aimed it up there, and I believe I could actually use that better than a slingshot. I was pretty doggone accurate with it. I tried to sling it up there by hand a couple times. I went, I am going to use that weight that I bought. So I got out the pole, and lo and behold, it was over and done. Got the antenna up really good. Anyway, good morning to you, Jim. I went through all that spiel and didn't even say good morning, but I'm going to hand it to you. Glenn, great to hear you. Don, Charlie, I think signed out N1XZW. I had a good copy on Charlie, and Perry, you're holding in here real solid as well. KN4XG over in Virginia. Good morning, Jim. KK4GZQ. It was good to hear you in Florida.
Yeah, good deal, Kevin. It certainly was indeed. And you sound great here this morning. Check real quick. Who do I send it to? Go ahead.
You send it to Glenn, N1SNG.
Okay, gotcha. Yeah, good morning, Perry. Yeah, everybody sounds great here right now. And hello, Charlie. Hope you're having a good morning. I still want to know what kind of cookies you're giving those critters. If you're making them fresh baked, warm out of the oven, Toll House perhaps, or maybe they're getting something else. I don't know. But ever since you told me the story yesterday, I've been wondering what kind of cookies they get over at Charlie's house. And that was a really cute story, too, by the way. But once again, your signal is real loud down here, Charlie. I hope you can hear me out there. Seems like you just come booming in here in the morning. And good morning to you, Glenn. And I hope you're enjoying your newfound freedom and your retirement, and that you're taking it slow and easy, man. Just, let the whole world roll off your shoulders, because you deserve it. No matter what happens, you got it made, man. You got it made. Welcome to the future. And congratulations again. And Perry, man, you're killing me down here. You're like 40, 50 over, and just sounds awesome, man. Awesome. Absolutely amazing. And propagations grow good. I think you nailed it, man. It's signals are excellent all around. Everybody's doing a great job. It's a pleasure to tune in and listen to everyone. It sure is. I'm just waiting for the polls to open. Another sleepless night here. I was down yakking on 3810 with the Make America Great net, I guess. and boy, it was quite a night we had talking about the upcoming election. Everybody, I'm in Fairfax County here, on the border of Loudoun County, right on the line between the two counties, at the epicenter of Civil War II. And the eyes of the world are on Fairfax County right now, because as Fairfax goes, the state will go. If Fairfax votes red, then we'll win, and if they don't, then we won't. But I've got the special honor this morning of escorting my son to his first visit to the polls as an adult. He just turned 18 this year. So we're going to go down and vote as a family here in about an hour from now. It's just a short walk, just a block down the street here. So I'm looking forward to that, and it's either going to be one of the greatest days in history, or it's going to be one of the most terrible days in history. There's a lot riding on this race here in Virginia, as you all know. And I just want to tell everybody that we're doing our best. We're gonna pull the lever for truth, justice, and the American way. All four of us, I'm pretty sure. And that's the best we can do. So I'll send it up to you, Glenn. And you're knocking me out down here, big signal, and sounds great as always. N1SNG and the fine group KM4XG.
Yeah, KN4XG.
N1SNG. Okay, very good, Jim. Very nice signal up into Rhode Island this morning, listening on the R390A here. It's not even working hard here. Just beautiful signal. And yeah, Kevin, Yeah, the red tide, we have that up here too. Yep, it's all like you're saying there with the runoff, all the nitrogen fertilizers interacting and coming up with a cocktail for some not too good fishing, that's for sure. And we also have in the freshwater ponds it's more catch and release now. The blue-green algae is taken over quite a few of the ponds here, and the water went from a nice, like a clearish color to green. Very good, and then the ducks land in there, and they just transport it to another location, and so on and so on. So, yeah, definitely some global something going on. And as far as access to the ocean here, it's really you gotta find a spot. It's a lot of waterfront property here now, gated areas, everything's chain link fenced, and you really have to get the guidebook on where to go, where not to go. But some good offshore fishing. Got a lot of striped bass offshore. Gulf Stream came in pretty close this year, so Gulf Stream, determines where the catch of the day is going to be. Did take a trip down to North Carolina, went out to Cape Hatteras years ago, and there was quite a charter boat village down there. And we went walking out on the docks there, and there was a lot of yellowfin and so on, just lined up on the docks. So good fishing down off the Outer Banks, for sure. And then we come back to the Northeast, where I was out stacking firewood yesterday. Yep, cleaning up the backwood lot, and having all that time, Jim, to get organized now, or just tidied up, and not worrying about starting a project because you can't finish it because you're going to go back to work. It's a great feeling, it really is. Cleaned out the shed, got the snowblower up front, still got the log splitter in there. I got to pull that out and do some maintenance on that. I keep that inside also. So just, kind of a New England lifestyle here in a sense where, we have a secondary backup for heat. But if it doesn't get cold enough, we don't run it. That's been the trend. Years back, I belonged to a four-wheel drive club in the Rhode Island area. And the winters were pretty rough. We used to go out in the middle of snowstorms with the four-wheel drives. We used to go trail riding. Not rock climbing, but just get some of the back roads and some of the park areas, and we used to have a blast. And I know you've got the big Dodge there, all fired up, ready to go. That's good. That's a pretty safe vehicle. When you get on the road and there's lots of snow and slush and what have you, it's good to have a little bit of iron underneath you there. That's for sure. The good thing about retirement, I don't have to do that 250-mile weekly commute, back and forth. It's only 25 miles each way, but it's 25 miles of just some of the worst driving conditions. Not so much the snow, just the way people are driving now. It's pretty rough. But, you learn to get around that, depending on what time of the evening it is. But, other than that, good on all the election activity there, starting to heat up, and hopefully things work out for the better in that sense there. So I believe it's going to go over to Perry. And Perry, you're just pounding in here. Just amazing signal. You're like your dad. You carry that family heritage of just a beautiful audio
strong signal, very consistent. So W3MMR N1SNG.
Good morning, AJ1G.
All right, hey Chris. Let me there we go. Hold on a second here. Actually, it goes down to Don, and then back to me. Yeah, go ahead, Don, and then send it back to me. We'll get Chris in the rotation here. WC4D, W3MMR.
No problem. Good morning, Jim. Good signal in Lexington today. And Kev, sorry about you not catching no fish, but it's called fishing, not catching, as they say, you know. But, yeah, I've been to Alligator Point lots of times. You know, that was, we used to go over to catch blue crabs and stuff. We used to come, leave out of Tallahassee and go over there and go to the park and stuff, and we'd go out on the dock out there. And they had them little flat plate-looking things, and they'd, you know, we'd tie a chicken leg into a piece of chicken, lower it down there and raise it up real slow, and there'd be a crab in there, and the race would be on once it hit the dock, trying to catch it before it ran off and got back in the water again. I like blue crab, okay. I don't know that I'm crazy about them. I know when I went to Chesapeake and was working down there, everybody was talking about, you know, the blue crabs in Chesapeake Bay and everything else. They were good, but it's not something that I can't say I've ever sat around and had a craving for. I'd take a Philly cheesesteak sandwich over blue crab any day. I love Philly cheesesteak sandwiches. We're about to go and do a road trip in Robert Perry's neighborhood there in Chester, and I think he's got a place over there staked out that's supposed to be really good Philly cheesesteak sandwiches. Those are one of my favorites. I like them, and I like Italian beef sandwiches up in around Chicago area. Those are my favorite too. And the crabs and shrimp are great. Well, I love seafood, but I'm not going to choose them over top of Philly cheesesteaks or Italian beef sandwiches. I love them too. But yeah, at least your fishing pole and sinker worked out for you. Even if you didn't catch some fish, you did catch some good height on the launchings of the sinker there for your antenna. You know, that one day that we were talking and you were in there, I heard you really good here, matter of fact. I had a really good signal on you. And I was quite amazed. Matter of fact, at one time you were actually louder to me at one point than Art was. And I was kind of surprised. But that was just the conditions, as we all know. But it was amazing how loud you were up here. And if I had a way to record you, I would have done it, but I didn't. I'm looking at my power out here. I'm not getting very much out this morning. I guess it's out of tune or something. I haven't messed with the amplifier. I was actually going to work in the CQ Worldwide contest this weekend. And I made a few contacts here and there. It was nothing rare that I've seen on there. And I got on 15 meters. I couldn't believe it was wall-to-wall. It was just jam-packed full. And signals were just incredibly loud on 15 meters. And, but I didn't make any contacts. I just listened around. I thought, turned it off. And Glenn, I've seen your station up there. I think I did. And yeah, my desk, my operating station with all my modern equipment now is kind of horseshoe shaped, but everything else is straight up and down the walls. I can walk behind I got the radio equipment pulled out away from the wall far enough that I can walk behind it and make all my connections and stuff like that. But it's just not the way, it's not laid out the way I want it to. And I need to downsize so bad. I just got way too much radio equipment. And I've got an ART-13 I want to get into play. It's been going through works. I know everything's fine about it. It's been years since I've even talked on the thing. I'd say at least 5 to 6 years since I've even talked on it. But I turn it on and run the tubes up and power out every now and then. And I want to get that into play. And I'd like to get the BC610. And I got a Globe Champion 300As that I'd like to get into play. And you can't have 3 big transmitters in a small space. It just don't seem to work. And then I've got a 75A3 that a broadcast engineer owned up in Ohio up there. And it does a really, really good job. I mean, that thing is, he added 3 more filters to it and stuff. It's just a beautiful receiver. Absolutely beautiful. I like my stuff. I got 303, I've got R390s, I got Super Pro 600s, so I've got one of everything, basically. I like the National 183D. I think that's a really good sounding radio. So, I really don't know what I want to run for a full-time receiver. That's a bit of another problem. I don't know which one I want to use with it. And I can't put 4 or 5 receivers with 3 transmitters, and it just takes, it won't be that small, nice little comfy feeling that you'd like to have. So, that's not going to work. So it's a struggle. Like Kevin, man, he knows, he's seen how it is. My station's not really set up to be conducive for AM operation with the radios the way they're setting. They're not really comfortable here. Kevin's got his in a room right there where everything's right together. Mine's on each side of the room, 3 different walls, and it's just too much stuff spread out all over the place, and it aggravates me. Let's put it that way. I'll turn it back over to you, Perry. I'm just rambling here. I don't know if you've seen the little thing I just sent you on Messenger here. But, cats and how we're serious about our jockeys and stuff around here. So how about a jockey on a cat? That'd be a good one to start off with. So good morning, and over to you. W3MMR, WC40.
All righty, Don. And Chris, I didn't forget about you. Let me make sure I got it here. I still got you in there, Chris. I just want to finish up this rant, and we'll put you at the top, if that's all right. I'll make a short one here. Yeah, man, it's just I'm out of room here in my shack. I really am. I've like the one side is a lot of guys I'm sure have seen pictures of it where the workbench is and the shelves on the wall, and then directly behind, like, say you're sitting at the workbench, directly behind my back would be the boat anchor desk up against that wall. Excuse me, with the DX100, and I got the National over there now. And then a shelf above that I built. Everything's on the outside of the room, here. But it's hard to get behind things because things are so small. This was a porch at one point, and somebody... this house is 100 years old, so somebody at some point had closed it off and closed it in. And so this is where I'm at with the gear here. And then I have the boat anchor Studio B in the living room. I have the Ranger and the Hammerlin HQ140 in there. But I'd love to buy, there's not just buy equipment, but there's a lot of equipment out there that people are giving away. I could hop in the truck and go get a broadcast transmitter. You know what I mean? I just don't have the room. I've had the opportunities, still have the opportunity, and I just don't have the room. So I have the room to store it. I could store it at my dad's over in his barn, but then it'd be just sitting there for God knows how long, and so on and so forth. But this isn't a permanent fixture of this house. This is just temporary. It's close to work, while I'm saving up some money, man, and trying to make my big move. So you know how that all goes, boys. You guys are a little bit ahead of me in the game of life. So I'm 34 and still trying to make it work. You know what I mean, guys? But we're doing all right. All right, we'll keep it moving. Kev, down to you, then Jim. And then, Jim, you're going to send it to Chris. AJ1G. Then Chris will send it to Glenn. Okay? Don't forget about Chris there, Jim. KK4GZQ in the group, W3MMR.
Okay, Perry, fine business. W3MMR in the group, KK4GZQ, and good morning to AJ1G. Good morning, Chris. Had a good copy on you, what was it, yesterday, day before? It might have been before I left for Florida, but I remember talking to you up there and had a pretty good QSO with you. Anyway, I'll keep it short here to get Chris on in here. Don, that blue crab, talking about, make really good bait. I don't know about eating them. I can't say that I ever have, but I know I've fished with them, especially over in Mosquito Bay there, near
Cape Canaveral, and the redfish tear them up. Anyway, Don mentioned one day I had a good signal down there, and was actually maybe Heterodon and Art, I think. Well, somebody else told me that. I accidentally keyed up with one of them down there, and they said, heck, you're about as strong as some of the other guys. So I guess the antenna was working pretty well and got pretty good propagation a time or two. But for the most part, I was it just wasn't as good as the prior years going there. I'll just leave it at that. But it was okay, and we enjoyed it nonetheless. It was fun getting the antenna up, and of course my family gets a big kick out of me hanging all those antennas out there, my brother especially. Really enjoying this R392 that I got from Bill. Don, using it now, listening to you guys on it, doing a good job. And later today, I think I'm going to hang in here today. I'm going to do some things around here and get my body rested. And I think I'll check into the 9 a.m. 40-meter group there on 7290 with Craig and everyone. So I'll get that all set back up and get the 570. It's still in its little suitcase from its trip to Florida. Here comes Jim. I didn't mean to keep it that long. And Chris, coming your way, I guess. KN4XG, KK4GZQ in the group.
Yeah, good deal, Kevin. I think maybe someone else might be going to join here, so I'll keep it short as well. And Glenn, you were just killing me on that last over a couple of minutes ago, and Don, great signal in here too. It sounds real broadcast, Don. It really does. I spent a lot of time listening to the broadcast band, commercial broadcast band, and man, when I hear your signal, I just imagine I'm listening to the ball game in Chicago, or it's some commercial station. It really sounds great. And if you got too much stuff, I got a suggestion for anyone who feels like they've got too much stuff. I ran into a really nice fellow the other night here, K2GFI Bob up in New York, who's looking for either an amplifier or some kind of boat anchor on an AM. And he's a real earnest fellow who wants to build out his station. And I thought, well, heck, man, there's got to be plenty of Elmers aboard here who've got gear that they're not using or would like to find a new home for. So he's your man, Bob, K2GFI, Ground Fault Interrupter. And he was on the late night shift I guess it was last night or the night before, I can't recall. But let's see, I think that's all I had. And good morning to you, Chris, and let's get it right over to you, AJ1G and the group KM4XG.
Yeah, okay, good morning, Jim. KM4XG and the I gotta bring my drive up. Okay, KM4XG and a very nice group. Good morning to the new retiree, Glenn. Glenn, you got a beautiful signal down here this morning. Band conditions are very good. Perry, and the station's down south. Kevin out there in Kentucky, very, very nice signal. Kevin, I never did hear what you guys were fishing for. I know you were talking about it the other day, and yeah, it's been a very slow season for me generally here. I probably did more fishing than I've ever done in my life this summer. I was going out basically 3 days a week. I've slowed down. I really shouldn't be slowing down. It's a very good time to fish right now, but I haven't gone. I'm obviously not there this morning. I'm here at the home station. But someone just said, WC4D just said it. I say that all the time. They don't call it catching; they call it fishing. Sometimes I can make an analogy. My striper fishing has been this year has been like calling CQ endlessly, CQDX endlessly, and not realizing you're connected to your dummy load. So that's the way that's been going for me. But on the other hand, on the radio side of things, CQDX wise, I had a very nice night last night. Spent the whole day like Glenn, doing yard stuff. Raked the lawn, cut the lawn. I had to rake the lawn because I lost my the bag for my rear bagger mower. I think I left it at the dump, and it's probably in the brush pile. got plowed into the brush pile. I got a new one on order, but I haven't got it yet. And it was a beautiful day, absolutely gorgeous day. And at the end, I needed to make a run to the post office and grocery store, and made a stop down at Stonington Point right before sunset, and had a fabulous time down in the DX window on 3790. I worked Peter VK6APZ long path in Australia. Very nice. I actually worked him twice, and best contact I've ever had with him. I was solid in there the whole time, and he was just booming in. And after that, he had worked a station in Sweden, who ended up calling me, SM70HU, and then I worked Jim EI0CL in Northern Ireland, and then another one of the regulars I have in Henry OU5U. This is all around, right around or just after sunset, and it was a gorgeous day down there. And so that was good. Yeah, good radio day. Big election day here in Connecticut. We got we got a lot of school board appointees or elected officials going on. That's the big race here in town. They're all school board elections, and that's going to be interesting, and be very interesting what's going on down in Virginia. I think that's going to be a bellwether for next year's congressionals, and then of course the presidential election coming up. So anyhow, yeah, Glenn, I got some sad news to pass on. I know you've met him on a couple occasions. My old friend and fraternity brother and college roommate Rick KM1G passed away apparently suddenly this past week. I just found out over the weekend his obituaries in the Westerly Sun, and trying to make contact with his wife. I don't have her phone number. I don't think she has mine. I only have Rick's number, so I don't know. I might try calling his phone and see if she has access to it, or her two sons have access to it. I think she's up at her son's place up near the Patriots Stadium. He lives up that way. And one of them does, and one of them lives down here in Pawcatuck. He moved back to Pawcatuck after being up in the southwest of Boston area for many years. Good guy, great CW operator. In fact, I found out in his obit that he was on a and the old military radio, muscle memory speaking here to my brain. N1SNG, over to you, AJ1G.
AJ1G and the assembled group, N1SNG. Well, my condolences. I know you were pretty close to KM1G, Rick, there. I remember you mentioning him many times in conversation, and him and so on there. So hopefully you can make contact with the family there, and it's just probably one of those that happened really quick, like you're saying there. You probably would have known if it was long term. He probably would have called you and so on. But yeah, that's too bad. Yeah, that's for sure. All right, yeah. And, yeah, fishing and catching fish and trying to, yeah. Yeah, I was never a big fisherman. Never planned to be, but I just like going down and casting out and see what kind of bites you'd get, or what kind of lure you'd lose on a stump down on the bottom somewhere. And, yeah, Kevin, good on the RP92 there. That's a great little receiver there. I know, what is it, 26 volts on the filaments, I believe.
But quite a few of them still out there. A lot of them sitting around doing nothing, but get one resuscitated there. It's really, well made, kind of a bomb-proof receiver. Once you get them up and running there and get them all lined up. I think that's the one that went with the, the GRC 19 maybe. Not too sure. But, yeah, fine-looking receiver. Performing well, too. And Chris, I remember you mentioned about the, you lost the bagger part there. Maybe it fell off the truck or something, but well, you got a new one on the way, so that's good. At least it's not 16 to 18 weeks out. Some of that stuff. But yeah, we're all set as far as the landscaping tools here for now. And refreshing. A lot of things in the garage. The coming back. We had no birds here for months. So they're starting to come back. My neighbor feeds them across the street. So been watching those. Other than that, I still think got flowers in the yard and stuff. It's no big deal. Time marches on. And the vehicle's all set for the wintertime. And the Jeep, I moved that up a little bit yesterday to make room for the snowblower on the side. Actually, I had to move it over. I got the floor jack under there and jacked it up on the rear axle and just slid it over about 2 inches so I could fit the snowblower on the side there. But I did get underneath and a lot of cobwebs and things hanging there, so it's just a test of time. It tells you how long that thing's been sitting. So getting a little bit in the mood there to start that project probably in the spring, and it'd be nice to get that thing going. It's been too long, but when you're working, there's just some of the things that need to be done are long term. You need to spend a couple of good weeks in there and getting it back together again. So I kind of figured that would all happen. But the worst is over. It's just a matter of putting it back together again. And the motor runs really good. It's old 258 American Motors. It's straight 6. It's a pretty torquey motor. I've had them before. 4-speed. It's got a T18 transmission, 4-speed. And this transmission it's huge. I believe they use that same transmission in their pickup trucks back in the day. So yeah, it's a little tank, but it's going to need a little TLC before it gets back on the road again. So yes, retirement, and do enjoy it. And having too much stuff, I never got to that point. I collected receivers for a while, kind of weeded things out to the R390A and the SP600. Got a little HQ110 here. But I had nowhere to put anything. There'd be just no place to put anything. Everything's tabletop. It works out well for me. I think the more room you have, the more stuff you have. So this was kind of like a metering type of deal where it says you can't have too much stuff. You got to really figure out what you're going to use all the time. And of course, we always collect. It's always nice to collect. Have your own little museum. But I just couldn't do that here. So anyway, I'll get over to Don, and everyone has very nice signals this morning here. So far, so good. And go down to 18 meters. It sounded like there was a pile up there or something, but that last solar event, I think, might have influenced that there. So W4, WC4D. Over to you, Don.
K1SNG WC4D. Very good. Great signal, still holding up good. I think As far as old trucks go, everybody needs one. You know, you might not want it, but somewhere along the way, everybody needs an old truck. And I just when was it? June, I guess it was. I bought a 2020 Dodge Ram truck, and I'd had a 2005, so it'd been 15 years since my other truck. And it was getting where the bed of the truck was starting to rust. It still ran good, but the bed was getting a lot of rust in it here and there in the rocker panels. So I finally got this new truck. The other truck never got a dent in it. Nobody ever even come close to hitting me. I get the new truck, and last Tuesday I got T-boned right in the side, 3 houses away from my own house. There's a little side street, and the girl ran. It was our first frost that morning, and she didn't clear the frost off her windows and ran right into the side of my truck. $6,000 worth of damage later. I'm waiting for them to order new doors for it, and they're going to put a new bed on the back of the truck. So she whacked me pretty good, and I was pretty mad about that. But everybody said, why don't you just get a car and leave the trucks alone, you know? I like trucks. I don't know. I've had a truck for years and years, and I don't even... My wife's got a car, so if I want a car, I'll just ride in her car, or I'll drive my truck, one or the other. But, yeah, it's kind of a bit of a pisser, I guess you would call it, where somebody T-bones right into the side of you. And the bad part was her car was only 2 weeks old. So, yeah, that's going to... It did quite a bit of damage to the front of hers. I asked Perry if he could fix it, but he didn't say that he could. So I guess I'll be in good hands with Allstate and let them take care of it. They recommended they got a network repair shop here in town, and I'll be going through their repair service. So that's all I got to say about that before I start crying because I'm upset about my truck getting all beat up. Anyway, I'm going to make this my last one, you guys. I'm going to listen out for a little bit. I've got to make... an email to Allstate because I'm rather upset with them, even though I'm supposed to be in good hands. But I haven't heard from the adjuster, and the wreck was last Tuesday, a week ago today. And the adjuster has sent me a little message. I got my claim number and all that stuff, but they haven't called me personally and asked me, are you okay? Is there anything else that we can do for you? They never asked. So I'll give them a nasty gram this morning. So I'll say good morning to everybody. And good hearing you, Chris. You sounded great down here also. And I'll catch up with you all later. Perry, over to you. W3, MMR, WC4D.
WC4D. In the group W3MMR. Okay, Donald, 7-3. I'm going to make this my final as well. Good morning, Chris. Great signal down here, man. Wow. Yeah, great signals all the way around, really. Glenn, you started to drop down a little bit, so I bet we're going to lose each other short. I'm telling you, within the next 10 or 15 minutes, we're going to lose each other. Maybe 20. But you know how the band stretches out like it does right before sunrise. So, gray line's fast approaching. And, yeah, who was it that was mentioning blue claws? Was that you, Kevin? Blue crabs or blue claws? We eat blue claws like crazy up here. Chesapeake Bay and has some of the best blue claw population, or the largest blue claw population in the country. And in the Delaware Bay, I know a bunch of friends I went to high school with have crabbing boats, and they go out crabbing every day, sell them. Big number 1s, number 2s. They have like 1s, 2s, and 3s of the different sizes. I don't know what or how they classify them. You know, with the size or whatever, but they can get pretty darn big, and like I said, they taste fantastic, man. You get a big bushel of crabs and get a bunch of people over there and steam them up, put some Old Bay in there, and dump them out on the newspaper on the table and go to town. Really, really sounds good right about now, as I'm a big seafood guy. And you heard, Kevin, you were talking about, I think, redfish. And we used to do a lot of red fishing. It's inshore saltwater fishing down in southeast Virginia, and a lot of red drum down there, a lot of redfish, lots of speckled trout. Speckled trout and redfish are so fun to catch, man. You know, they're not real big, so you can still use light tackle on them. So it was always fun, but I haven't been fishing in quite some time. Really since I moved up here, I haven't moved back up here. I haven't been fishing much at all, so. All right, let me see what we got. Blah, 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 blah. Okay, that's all we got, man. So listen, guys, have a great day. Great hearing you guys this morning, as always. I'm going to go mosey into the other room, go relax, and maybe take a nap before I got to go to work at 8 o'clock. So, anyway, Kevin, Charlie, Don, Jim, Chris, Glenn, anybody else who may be listening, it's always fun, guys. Have a great day. Hopefully we'll catch up with you tomorrow. And down to you, Kevin. And just to give you guys a quick rundown of the order again, just in case you forget. Don signed, so it would be Glenn. I signed, so Glenn turns it to Kevin, GZQ, then to Jim, and Chris, AJ1G after Jim. Catch you guys later, 7-3. Have a fantastic day. Here it comes, Kev. KK4GZQ in Nonsuch, Kentucky. W3MMR in Chester, PA. We'll see you guys later.
7-3 Sperry, thanks.
Would the braking station come again with your call? Over.
That was just Glenn saying bye, Kev.
No, Perry. Glenn. Okay, buddy. Sorry about that. I just had the signal has faded on you guys a little bit, both you and Glenn, Perry. W3MMR with the group, KK4GZQ. I'll make this a final, too, and jump out and send it up to Jim in Virginia. 7-3 to Don and everybody else that signed here. And good morning again to Chris. I'm just going to take a little break. I've been up really early. I got up at about 2:30 and made myself go back to sleep, and then woke up again at 4:30. So I've been kind of meandering around the house here, and I've enjoyed my airtime with all of you this morning. Don, I was sorry to hear about your truck, but those things happen, and you'll never know it once they get finished. But you know, like you, a week later for the adjuster, really? Okay. Yeah, I don't blame you. So, you know, yeah, that you ought to get better service than that, and you know, paying your premiums like you do, and they ought to be able to be on the back end of that, providing you good service. So, Terry, interesting comments and about the blue claw crab, you called it. I've just always heard it referred to as just blue crab, but I'm sure they're the same thing. And you talked about Delaware and Chesapeake Bay, and the abundance of that up there, and everybody loves them, and you know, it's crab, I guarantee you. And I know over around Maryland, they've got some really, really good crab. When you mentioned Southeast Virginia and the redfish or the red drum, Perry, pretty much it's the same fish, again, like the crab and the trout. And I caught several years back, probably the biggest fish that we've caught other than shark off of St. George Island. I caught somewhere around 31, 32-inch red drum or redfish, and boy, was he fun to haul in. Heck, I just about went crazy when I got him up to and got him in the kayak over there. I had actually pulled up on one of the oyster beds and was out of the kayak and fishing off of it, and man, what a jerk. I tell you, it really pulled my line, my pole, and I thought, Lord, what have I got now? But my brother was amazed at the size of this thing. Anyway, enjoyed it here with all of you this morning. Jim, Glenn, Charlie earlier, Don, Perry. And early on, I heard KC5HMI down near Baton Rouge in there real early as I turned it on, and I just wasn't ready to get on the air. So, George, if you're listening down there, good morning to you as well. And I didn't know if you would break back in or what. So, with that, Jim, let me send it your way. I'll go ahead and get out of here. And as Leonard Post-Toasties used to say on his sports radio show, get me out of here, Percy. KN4XG in Virginia, KK4GZQ. I'll listen to your finals. Good morning.
Yeah, good deal, Kevin. Yeah, the band's getting ready to go short. So I'll say 73 all around, and always a pleasure to hear everyone. And let me send it up to Chris before the band goes away altogether. Chris, sorry to hear about your friend, KM1G. I offer my condolences for your loss. There's a lot of that kind of thing going around these days. And Don, sorry to hear about your truck, too. That stinks. So, yeah, anyway, go ahead, Chris, pick it up. And 73, folks, we'll catch y'all later. I'm headed to the polls. KM4XG, Herndon, Virginia.
Okay, oh, yes, right, Virginia guy, you got a big race down there. Vote wisely. And well, it's going to be interesting to see how that turns out. KM4XG, AJ1G. Yeah, everyone's going to be watching Virginia today, that's for sure. And yeah, okay, on the fishing down there, Kevin. And yeah, we have blue crab. I don't know if they call them blue crabs up here. Do they call them blue crabs, Glenn? I've never done it. There's a lot of people do that right here along Route 1. There's a couple of little estuaries and bays that actually, they even go into culverts and then reform on the other side of Route 1 right here along the shore in Stonington. And there's always people down there in those coves catching crabs. Every town use flashlights and I guess little chicken neck rigs and things like that. Big thing among the kids in the summertime to do for sure. Well, I like crab. I really enjoy soft shell crab. I used to travel to Annapolis on occasion, and I had some wonderful soft shell crab down there. Well, I got a reaction to it one time. I thought I was allergic to it, but there's apparently there's certain enzymes in those things that can trigger allergic type reaction. Doesn't mean you're necessarily allergic to crabs. My wife is actually very allergic to crab meats by default because the amount of iodine in them. She has a very strong iodine sensitivity, and just a little bit of crab meat will have bad reactions. We very rarely eat crab here. I'll occasionally have a crab meat sandwich or something like that. Go to a fish place or something like that. But yeah, they're good. And a lot of times traveling, I remember there's down BWI and some of the other East Coast airports, there's places that I forget the place, the Crab House places, and then of course Florida, some great crab shacks down there. I remember there was one in Fort Lauderdale where the decor was newspapers on the table, and everyone, it was very noisy because everyone would have the hammers to smash the crabs with, and people would just start these big hammering, like doing a wave with hammers. Lots of fun though. We really enjoyed that. I forget the name of the place down. It was something Crab House down in Fort Lauderdale. Excellent place. Anyhow, I don't know who was hanging around here. Glenn, what's your plan? Boy, Brown was really strong on the military net the other morning. It was a good net. Boy, you had a big net too. And keep up the good work. You got that's one of your retirement jobs, I guess now. I haven't been able to. I remember tried carrying it a little when first had Ted, unavailable, and it's a lot of work. It's a lot of work. I went on to CW net. Tom W2ALA's pretty much been running that lately on Sunday night. Did that from the Mobile and had some fun with that. One of the things I've noticed, and Perry, maybe I'll try to catch you on in the afternoon. We'll try some comparisons on short distance operations with the Mobile. I've been doing some NVIS situation where I tilt the whip. And actually, it's almost down horizontal, strung out behind the back of the truck on a ball mount. And I've noticed about 2 S units difference, much louder on real close-in contacts. If I tilt that whip down, make it like NVIS, and send all the energy up, straight up, and as long as there's not too much absorption, man, that makes a huge difference in propagation. And you definitely take an antenna certainly a ham stick. I haven't done it much with ham sticks. I did many years ago when I first got on the airmobile. But there's definitely something to be said for that. And I do have a big ball mount on the Webster band spanner on a truck now. I came across a marine style mount, you know, the ones with the locking lever and the pivot. You can go from, you know, like if you want to lay your antenna down while towing a boat or going under a bridge. I mean, it's one of those type of mounts. And I'm going to try to adapt that to take the hand stick and I'll bolt that right on the left rear corner of the Tacoma. So up to you, Glenn. And yeah, sounds like you got your projects going. Yeah, you're going to find though, Glenn, that the time goes really fast now. It's like, you know, there's only well, it's the same number of hours in a day, but they go by a lot faster. And it's not so much the individual days; it's the weeks. You notice really, holy mackerel's already here. It is already Tuesday again. You know what I'm saying? N1SNG, AJ1G.